Till now, whenever I want to make changes, right, I need to come to the Jenkins and do the changes, right? Is there a way I can restrict everything to a single source code? So whenever I want to make the changes, I will do it on the source code. I will never come to the Jenkins and modify any changes. Is there a way to do that? Yes, this pipeline files can be stored in my repo, and that repo can also pull it and use it. Okay, let's see that example, how to store this pipeline in my repo, and from there my Jenkins should pull and use it. So the option will be, so let me copy the content, complete content. Okay. And if you see, there is a small drop down in the top in the pipeline definition. So it's saying two options, pipeline script and pipeline script from SCM. Okay. So first, let me write this code in my source control. If you go to the repo, there will be a Jenkins file. Okay. So you can name the file like anything, but as a best practice, always name it like Jenkins only. Okay. So let's see that first. So let us edit the file. Okay. There, change the complete content, remove the existing one, and then paste it. Because when you fork that repo, it might have some old data. Let's ignore that. So remove the complete content and paste what we have written now. Okay. So let me commit the changes. So now I'm coming back to the script. I'm going to change it to pull SCM, full script from SCM, and in the source control management, select Git, and there you have to give your repository URL. Give your repository URL and also select your credential. You can specify from which branch I wanted to pull, and the script path default is Jenkins file. Always keep it as a Jenkins file itself so that it will be easy for you to understand. You can name it like a different file and you can give the file name here. It is not going to complain that, but as a best practice, always name it as a Jenkins file so that everyone will be able to understand. So this is the Jenkins configuration file for it. Okay. So let me repeat the changes. So in the drop down, select pipeline script from SCM and select Git in the list and provide the Git URL and select the credential and the branch is master. And then I'm providing Jenkins file. Okay. So let me save this. Once you made the changes, let's do a build now. And I want to see the complete log. Let's see what's happening. Okay. So you could see it is pulling the Git twice. If you see the console output, first it will pull the Git to get the Jenkins file, right? Then it will do the changes to update the Jenkins file, and after that it is running. So two Git pull will happen. First to get the Jenkins file, then in the Jenkins file I have instruction to do the Git pull, then it is doing that. Next, let's make some changes in the Jenkins file and see how Jenkins is going to react for that. I want to enable a webhook on this job, right? So right now, nothing is done. So, but I don't want to do it directly here. I want to write an instruction in my Jenkins file and I want it to come and update the webhook. Let's see how do I do that. So let me edit the Jenkins file in the GitHub. That I'm going to add a new line for triggers after the tools. Let me say before the tools itself, let me add the triggers. Okay. Webhook is not a trigger. We'll come back to the trigger later. In the stages, let me add a step to enable webhook. stage well webhook and steps. So there is no declarative syntax for webhook. It is available only as a scripted syntax. So I can call a scripted syntax from declarative. So I'm calling a scripted syntax from declarative, and this is the option properties GGERS pipeline triggers GitHub push open and close bracket and square bracket closure and closure for this GitHub and square bracket closure for this pipeline and square bracket closure for the properties. Okay, now let us close this. One more. So I'm closing the script, I'm closing the strip, and I need to close my stage. Yeah. So I'm just adding this snippet, adding a new stage called enable webhook, and there I'm giving the snippet for enabling the webhook. This is a scripted snippet. So let me commit the changes, but this will not trigger the job because Jenkins still now doesn't know that it has to go and fetch it. Okay, I need to run this one time manually, right? Then only I will be able to, the Jenkins will get to know that, okay, I need to enable the webhook for this. Okay, so let's just run the job once. So I'm not going to modify the job. Okay, so I'm not going to modify the declarative pipeline. So if you see that currently in that build triggers, nothing is enabled. Okay, so let me just build once. Let this complete. You can see there is a step called enable webhook was added because I have added that in the repo. If you see that the build number 3 got created, and if you go and click on configure, you should see that it is enabled. You can see the GitHub triggers has been enabled for you. So I haven't did any changes in the UI. In the script, I have written that. Okay. Now, if I go back to my repo, so notice that the build number is 3. And let me edit the test file. And let me call it as testing webhook again. And if I commit it, then this job should have been triggered. Yeah, you can see when I make a commit, it is automatically triggering that. Okay, so only for the first time trigger to enable the webhook, you need the job to be executed once, or once you enable the webhook, whenever there is a commit, it is going to reflect the change on this particular job for you. You can keep this as a one-time activity. When you build a pipeline, you will write the code, and first time if you run the job manually, and after that, whenever there is a change happened on my repo, it is going to trigger the job in the Jenkins. So this is the option you can use to store the Jenkins file in the repo itself, and then you are connecting it there.